everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And 2-0, baby!
Woo! In dominating
2-0.
fashion.
Oh my
Woo!
gosh, this was we'll talk about it, Jerry, but this is exactly the type of game that I dreamed the Panthers might have today.
Yeah, this was I thought the game was going to be close. I know a lot of the Saints fans, there's a lot of people who thought that the Saints were going to walk all over us. I was like, I don't see them walking all over us. I think that the Panthers have it. No, it wasn't close. Panthers dominated. Defense, astronomically good. I mean,
this defense is historically good. We'll talk about some of the stats here in a little bit, but man, just wow.
It's 5 hours after the game, 4 hours, and I am still buzzing on this game. Woo!
Now, Jerry, you went to the game. You were part of, on TV, it seemed like just loud, raucous.
It was.
Energy like I haven't heard from a Panthers game in a long time. So tell us how it was.
It was exactly that. The stadium didn't seem that full, like when you look around. But the people that were there, they were just buzzing. And wow, it was just every defensive stand, had everybody like banging on chairs, screaming defense. I had to calm myself down in the first quarter because it was so hot. I was getting lightheaded and I was really kind of afraid I was going to pass out. So, but
I'm sure that had nothing to do with the liquid you were.
I just drank water. I'm not even gonna joke.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
You were present for the entire game. That's awesome.
Yes. But the fans that were there were really raucous, really great. The game atmosphere seems to be lacking this year, though. Just the fan interaction, like they did the keep pounding this week. But instead of going back and forth like they normally do, it was just a keep pounding on the same. It just lost a lot of its luster the way they try. I don't know. I don't understand why. It doesn't seem like they're really getting fan interaction from them. Now the team itself got the interaction. Like I said, it was ruckus. It was very loud. It was everybody banging on chairs. Saints fans crying. It was beautiful.
You had some Saints fans near you, right?
Yeah, I had I guess I was on the away team side, but there's a row in front of me and this rather large guy in front of me. He was one of those really cocky fans, just like as soon as they started, the game, who that defense? Like he was just trying to, like before the game even kicked off. First quarter, I really didn't hear much from him again, and he left sometime in the fourth quarter, early fourth quarter.
I heard there were some early exits for Saints fans in this game.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But let's get going. Let's go to the key plays of the game.
Key plays of the game, and we'll kick it off here with the first touchdown of the game. Panthers actually got the ball first in this game, which is kind of rare.
Yeah.
Seems like the Panthers are always kicking off first. But I like it when they get the ball first, and this is why. Brandon Zylstra, a 20-yard touchdown pass from Sam Darnold. Really, I mean, Darnold was so sharp, especially in the first half of this game.
Yeah.
And Zylstra, very involved, more involved than Terrace Marshall, really, at least for most of the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising.
I was thinking about this when it happened. I was like, wow, that's really surprising, especially because you kept seeing his name. I was thinking, well, with Lattimore and Gardner Johnson out, I was thinking, well, maybe they're thinking, hey, this guy, whoever's playing their fourth or fifth corner, is probably up off a practice squad. Let's see if we can pick on him, and maybe that's what they saw.
Yeah. I mean, Zylstra, congratulations for his first touchdown reception, I believe, and awesome, great way to start the game.
Great way. I mean, there was a couple key passes from Darnold on that drive, and they just, whew.
Yeah.
Now, 1st and 10, 11:48 left in the first quarter. Jameis Winston brought down 7-yard loss by Hassan Reddick. It just started. It just started that constant pressure that was constantly on Jameis Winston. You're right. Great key play there.
Yeah. And, this was after roughing the passer got them 15 yards to get up to midfield and to bring them right back to hit Jameis, kind of like you said, starting the day off with a sack that the defense never let up the whole game. The defense, again, the defense won this game for us. Offense played better than they did last week, but the defense won this game. And, again, it's a sack in the first half. You could say, or the first quarter, early in the first quarter, you could say, is that really a key play? Yeah, I think so, just from what it portended for the rest of the game.
Yeah, because they got that cheap 15 yards. I didn't see a roughing the passer, by the way. Again, I'm up in the stands. It didn't look like it was roughing the passer, but they got those 15 yards, and you're like, oh, great. They're at the 50. They can easily get in field goal range. And just right then, they just got the sack, and then it just snowballed on the Saints the rest of the game, it felt like, from the defense.
Yep. All right, so this next one here, 3rd and 4 at the New Orleans 16, and you get 8:53 left in the fourth quarter. Jameis Winston sacked at the New Orleans 11 for -5 yards, fumbled the ball, in real time, fumbled the ball. That's what they called. Replay official reversed the play, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This play, I guess this is like the Brady Tuck rule, where if the hand's moving forward and the defender hits him and that causes the ball to be thrown backwards, it's not a fumble because it looked like the ball was traveling backwards. That was the explanation. But again, just basically stopping New Orleans. They had just scored, I believe, and they were, potentially on their way down again.
Correct. They were down by 2 possessions. We went out, we punted to them, and, 2 possessions down, 9 minutes left, and this just, sacked them or, incompletion. Now they have to punt to us. This was pretty much the game right here. It felt like, all right, yes, there's still a chance for them, but that it doesn't feel good for them, as you assumed after that 1 touchdown, maybe they could get some momentum, and it just was shot right back down.
Absolutely, yep. This was the play where their game ended, This is the game where I, as a Panthers fan, sort of let out a little bit of a sigh of relief, because I was like, okay, they stepped up. The Panthers defense had to step up after the offense sort of went real quiet again in the second half, just like they did last week. And we'll talk about that. But, to me, this was a fumble, man. This rule needs to change, because that's a fumble. Now, if it happens to Darnold, then I like the rule. But in this case, did not like the rule.
Yeah, I actually texted you the down before this, saying the defense needs to put this away since the offense doesn't want to. That's it. Yep. And that's what when we got that fumble, which I thought it was, I was just like, that is exactly what I was talking about, because the offense just didn't want to step on the throat of the Saints they just kept letting them hang around when the defense said no.
Speaking of offense, though, Jerry, our last key play.
Our last key play, 5:53 left in the fourth quarter, 1st and 10 for New Orleans 11. Christian McCaffrey, 11 yards up the middle, touchdown, ticker tape, parade, it's over.
Yep. Game over. Offense finally comes through.
Mass exodus for the Saints fans. That was it.
And this is that next series. So the series that we got the ball back, and they took a little bit of time off the clock, went right down and scored. And, at that point, it was over.
Yeah, it was. Whoo. I mean, this game, I really wish the defense got that shutout. I am disappointed in that interception. That was just a boneheaded mistake.
Yeah, and you're talking about Sam Darnold's interception inside our own 20, I think, and he was trying to make a play, but at that point you got to understand that you just take the sack.
I mean, he was going down. There's a defender right in front of him. I didn't understand what he was even thinking about trying to do.
He just didn't see the defender. and he was trying to make a little shovel pass to Chuba, and had it worked, I think Chuba had a little bit of room to run, but just trying to make a play didn't work out. It happens.
Yeah.
I don't hate him for it. I mean, he made some excellent throws in this game. Outside of that, really mistake free. Had a couple that could have been picked, but again, really good game from Darnold.
Excellent.
You did fail to mention on that last play, Zane Gonzalez PAT failed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you expect kicker number 3 to be on the team?
I definitely expect another kicker. Since it is Thursday, I think he'll stay another week. But I do expect another kicker brought. Well, we have Eberle on.
We have Eberle on the practice squad.
So maybe, I don't know, because he had the other one blocked that actually
had one blocked, and then he wasn't kicking it into the end zone. I mean, they were getting really good field position.
Yeah.
Every kickoff, they were like 30, 35-yard line, every one. And that's big. This is presented by MyBookie. Jerry, I won more money today on MyBookie by betting on the Panthers. I'm telling you, I'm just going to bet on the Panthers every week because at this point we're going 17-0. So MyBookie is the best place to bet, in my opinion. Not only can you bet before the game, but they have live betting during the games. So this line keeps moving, and I'm like, more money on the Panthers, more money on the Panthers. Going to blow out the Saints, and they did. If you like fantasy, you can bet fantasy over-unders as well on MyBookie. It's really cool. Up to $1,000 first deposit bonus. So if you use the promo code MEOW, MEOW, you can get $1,000 extra on your first deposit. MyBookie.ag, promo code MEOW when creating your account. Bet, win, get paid. Let's start looking at some stats. Sam Darnold, 26 of 38, 305 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. The interception we mentioned, did get sacked a couple of times in this game. Overall QB rating of 99.1, QBR of 77.5, which is really high. Great game from Darnold, honestly.
Yeah.
Outside of the one pass.
He had that interception. He had another one that he probably should have thrown that could have been picked off. But other than that, he's been really sharp. Good job. I mean, you got to think he's feeling great. The first 2 games, he's looked really good. The Panthers are winning. I mean, he's making the Jets feel maybe they made a mistake.
Oh, I saw some Twitter chatter about the Saints fans wishing that they would have just hung on to Darnold and grab somebody else at that upper or traded back in the draft or something. Yeah. What did I say?
Saints.
Oh, my bad. Jets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saints probably wishing they had Darnold too. Today because Jameis did not look good. Jameis looked like Jameis.
I was gonna say Jameis was under duress. He has a good O-line, but
you're a Jameis fan. Let's put this out there. You're a Jameis fan.
I think Jameis Winston is slightly better than people think. People think he's really bad coming into this year, and I think he was better than bad, but he still makes mistakes. You harass him, he makes mistakes, and that's what the Panthers did.
Yeah. Before we continue, the Saints were getting so much national hype from that Packers 38-3 Packers victory. The Panthers not getting any respect really for the 5-point victory over the Jets. This has to change the tune of. The national media has to recognize the Panthers at this point. This was a blowout on a team that they had already christened as a contender in the NFC.
Yeah, I think they have to be. I think the defense has only given up not even 300 yards total offense this year in 2 games.
128 in this game.
And 140 something last game. So, or 60, I think. Either way, that's insane.
It was a little more than that. But I think Wilson ended up having 200-some passing yards. But yeah, so, either way.
I think at this point, this defense has to be considered a top-tier defense so far. And, it looks like it's for real. It doesn't look like it's just, bad teams. They're dominating the other teams. So, and it's giving time for our offense to start clicking. And Steven lost a mic.
My bad. Knocked down my mic. Yeah, the Panthers have 10 sacks through the first 2 weeks of the season, which is the second most through the first 2 weeks in franchise history. So
Yeah.
there you go. They're setting records all over the place. Continuing with the stats here, McCaffrey, another ridiculously heavy day for him. 24 carries for 72 yards. I mean, not a lot of yards per carry, but also had 5 receptions for 65 yards. Did get that rushing touchdown at the end of the game, so he's finally on the board with touchdowns. But just another huge game in terms of overall yardage, but 29 touches again.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna keep Chuba Hubbard. They kept trying to get him in there, but 8 yards, 10,
Chuba,
8 carries.
10, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do if he's not gonna get any yards? I mean, they've got to let McCaffrey run.
Well, they put Royce Freeman in there a couple of times and just never handed him the ball. I'd like to see what he could do. I mean, he's had some success in Denver, and
maybe they'll do that Thursday.
Chuba's not doing anything.
Yeah, I think maybe they'll do that. Yeah. Like I said, maybe they'll do that on Thursday night. Now, Chuba had only 10 yards, but he did carry better than Alvin Kamara. 8 carries, 5 yards. Oh.
Yeah. I've been waiting on that. Yeah. 8 carries, 5 yards, 4 receptions, 25 yards for Kamara. Absolutely shut down. They could get nothing going on the ground. Tony Jones, 3 for 7. Taysom Hill and Jameis were the only ones that could rush the ball. As a team, 17 rushes for 48 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. And again, a couple of those were just the quarterbacks getting away.
No, 35 yards of that is from quarterbacks running. Maybe Taysom Hill had a regular run, but for the most part, 35 yards from their quarterbacks. They got 13 yards from their running backs on the ground.
Yeah, basically 12 rushes, 13 yards from their running backs.
This defense, man, whew. Yeah. I don't know how glowing I could say I'm ecstatic about it.
Well, this was one of our keys of the game when we talked in the preview too, was shutting down Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Historically, he has been able to tear the Panthers up. That type of running back has, a fast running back that can also catch out of the backfield has been kryptonite for the Panthers.
It's
they
the speed.
Absolutely destroyed him.
It's the speed. Like I would see it where normally he could get the corner, but our linebackers, our corners, everybody's just so fast that he got a yard or two instead of taking that turn and being able to go upfield. Mm-hmm. They're just so fast. It's amazing how athletic this defense is.
Kamara was really demoralized after the first, few series. You could just see it in his face. Like he is not having it. He did not want to be there. Back to Panthers stats. DJ Moore, 8 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Looked really good out there.
Yeah.
11 targets. We mentioned McCaffrey. Dan Arnold, finally, we get some tight ends in the box score here. 3 catches for 55 yards. And a couple of really nice ones. One of them, he sort of bailed out Darnold. Darnold got hit in the pocket, was able to escape the pressure, run into the right, and he hit Arnold with a perfect pass towards the sideline. So really nice job there. And then we mentioned Zylstra, 3 for 44 and a touchdown. Had 3 targets, so he caught all of his targets. Terrace Marshall also only 3 targets for 17 yards. So I wonder, kind of strange there. I expected to see Marshall involved a little more.
Me too. But, I mean, like I said, maybe they saw something and maybe the plays broke down to the where Zylstra got open and 3 targets. Yeah. I mean.
Another person that's just not getting as much looks as I thought, Robbie Anderson. Only 3 catches for 38 yards. He signs this big deal where he's with us for the next 2 years, and he's got 4 catches on the season.
Yeah, the few I see is him going downfield and just kind of Sam Darnold kind of overthrowing it. He had 6 targets, and I think that's what they're really hoping for, is for him to be the stretch guy right now, and that's what they're using him as.
Yeah, I mean, one of those targets was basically Darnold just throwing it away. But yeah, I'm hoping that they are able to get Robbie involved a little more, because I feel like he's one of those guys that if he's not involved, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
from a locker room perspective. So I'm hoping that they can get him involved more. Not only that, because he's he's a playmaker. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to get your playmakers involved. So, yeah, looking at the defense, Panthers with 4 sacks in this game. Morgan Fox, who by the way was amazing in this game. Morgan Fox everywhere. Really good game. Only credited for half a sack, but man, he just really looked good. Hassan Reddick, another 1.5 sacks. I think that puts him up to 3 for the season. He
Yeah, it
also
does.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Burns with another sack, and then Daquan Jones, big sack. So those are the 4 sacks.
And Burns almost had another one. That fumble would have been a fumble sack, but unfortunately called out. So you win the beer bet. I owe you a beer. Hassan Reddick won. And Etor ended up getting hurt. I was hoping for something from him, but
yeah, Etor got hurt. It's okay. You could have chosen Burns. And I still would have won the bet, so it's okay. Only 5 tackles led the team in this game. Justin Burris, who had a nice game, by the way. Everybody on the defense had a nice game.
Yeah,
we would be remiss if we did not mention J.C. Horn getting his first interception of his career at the end of the game. Really nice job.
Yeah, it was towards that end where he was just going to start lobbing them up, and that's what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 11 QB hits on the official box score from ESPN for the Panthers, and it felt like even more than that. Like they were just harassing Jameis.
I mean, 11 hits on 22 pass attempts. So, he nearly 50%. Because I'm sure
pass attempts, yeah. I mean, there's a few that he didn't get the ball off, obviously. So Morgan Fox with 3 of those by himself, by the way. So just even though he didn't show up in the box score for him, he was all over the place. Justin Burris with the other interception. So really nice job by Justin Burris today. We mentioned Zane Gonzalez, just kind of finishing out the stats here. 2 for 3 on field goals, 2 for 3 on extra points, and then just wasn't kicking the ball into the end zone. So again, I don't think he's the guy.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect him around for a couple more games. He'll be gone.
Yeah. So I do want to pat myself on the back one more time, Jerry. My bold prediction for this game, Jameis Winston goes from 5 touchdowns in game 1 to 0 touchdown passes in game 2. 0 touchdown passes for Jameis Winston in this game. 11 for 22, 111 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, I got some heat on YouTube for that one from a couple of Saints fans.
Well, they called us delusional because we picked the Panthers to win.
Right.
And then they're like, "You better
0 touchdown passes. Come at me later," or whatever, whatever he said. But yeah, love it.
You know who's gonna go crickets on the comments now?
Mm-hmm. He's the only one that hasn't responded to my GGs. Yeah, I said GG to everyone. Just looking at receptions for New Orleans, there's not a lot to talk about. Lil Jordan Humphrey, 1 for 27. We talked about Kamara. Juwan Johnson, 1 for 23. Chris Hogan, 1 for 16. Deontay Harris, 1 for 9. I mean, Marquez Callaway, who, is supposedly their number 1 guy right now, 2 for 8.
Yeah.
Did nothing.
This team had 106 yards when it was basically over. They had 106 total yards because I looked up at the scoreboard after that Burns sack fumble incompletion, and I looked up and it said Saints 106 total yards. I was just like, wow, that is astronomically insane. And one of those 20-something yard catches was after that when everybody was playing back. So
yeah.
I can't wait to see who gave up those receptions because this defense secondary, everybody just round of applause.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't say enough good things about the defense, honestly.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear, the Panthers, they were playing the COVID Saints, 8 coaches out, missing half their defense, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's a W. Their offense was intact.
Yeah.
And they could do nothing against the Panthers.
Exactly. Yeah, their coaches were out. Well, I mean, the coaches call the game plan, but it doesn't matter if they can't execute. They couldn't execute
Right.
anything.
Sean Payton was still there. Sean
Yeah.
Payton calls the offense.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
I know, and you're absolutely right. The main media is going to trash this win. Oh, they didn't have coaches.
Let's see. They played Zach Wilson in week 1. They almost lost that game. They played the Saints in week 2. Everybody was out with COVID. Week 3, Tyrod Taylor's not going to play. They're going to, get the Texans on a short week.
With David.
We're going to be 3-0, and nobody's going to believe in us. So,
well, we're 2-0. Let's not look ahead like we won.
No, I'm looking ahead,
game.
Jerry. 6-0 for the Panthers coming up to you. Offensive line did a pretty good job today. The Saints were able to get some pressure, but only 2 sacks, 3 QB hits. So Sam Darnold stayed pretty clean in the pocket today. Some unfortunate injuries. Pat Elflein went out with a hamstring injury. Unsure what his status is going to be moving forward.
Cam Irving.
And then Cam Irving, but I think Cam Irving was able to come back in and play.
Okay.
So,
again,
I think he's
nosebleeds. I can't see all the numbers when they're all.
Yeah. Daly was in there for a while. Brady Christensen was in there for a while. Christensen didn't look great to me. Ended up on his back a few times, but that's his first, big game action where he had a significant number of snaps. So we'll see moving forward. Obviously, these young guys, this is a young team for the Panthers, so they're still all getting experience. I do want to read some really cool stats that the Panthers put out. So the Panthers held New Orleans to 128 yards, the fewest allowed in the 54-game all-time series with the Saints, and the fewest for New Orleans under head coach Sean Payton, who took over in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big deal. The Panthers held the Saints to just 48 yards on the ground with 2.8 yards per carry. 93 rush yards allowed through the first 2 games of the season are the fewest in franchise history.
That's right.
90, and they haven't even allowed 100 yards rushing.
That's right.
In the first 2 full games. Here's the one I really like, Jerry. Carolina's defense held the Saints to a combined 2 of 13 on 3rd and 4th downs. On the season, Carolina's defensive third down percentage of just 25% is half of last year's total and ranks 2nd in the NFL after Sunday's early games.
Awesome. That is awesome. Because that was one of our biggest fears from last year is they could not get off the field on 3rd down. And this year they gave Phil Snow some players, and he is making them work. It's a different style defense from what this Panthers team has done before, but it's just a very fast, athletic group of guys that will just hunt them down and just come after you. I love the aggressiveness too, and they're having fun. It seems like.
Yeah. Sorry. Right. Last year, obviously, they didn't have the players for the scheme. They had to play a lot of drop back and zone coverage and all the things we complained about and bitched about the entire season, really, until the very end. The last, handful of games, they looked pretty good, but they have come out like gangbusters this year.
Yeah.
One more: the Panthers held a 28-6 edge in first downs, the second fewest first downs allowed in franchise history. The first was 5 to Chicago, but the fewest offensive first downs for New Orleans since 1997. I mean, again, what can you say about this Panthers defense?
I just that's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said it all, right?
Yeah,
the Panthers scored a touchdown on its opening drive for the first time since week 9 of 2020.
Yeah, I believe that one.
That's nice to see.
I mean, I know you made fun of me and everybody else did when I said top 5 defense, and I was like, yeah, I may have been a little buster. I think I may have hit it.
Hey, I think right now we definitely are. Yeah. Oh man. So just kind of looking at the New Orleans Saints, 2 of 11 on 3rd downs in this game, 0 for 2 on 4th downs. Getting off the field, such a big deal, and the Panthers are doing it this year. Panthers, by comparison, 8 for 15 on 3rd downs, didn't try any 4th downs.
Yeah.
38 minutes of possession for the Panthers. 38 plus 38 and a half minutes of possession for the Panthers to 28 and a half. I mean, or 21 and a half for the Saints. Ball control, ball control, ball control. Just awesome. Awesome. What else, Jerry? And anything else that we haven't said yet?
No, let's just go to our heroes and zeros.
Heroes and zeros. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Jerry, no zeros for me in this game.
I have a zero.
Okay.
I have a zero. Do we?
Okay. Well, let's start with our heroes.
No, I'll go ahead and start with my 1-0.
Okay.
Zane Gonzalez.
Okay.
You didn't kick it to the back of the end zone like you said. You weren't getting the touchbacks. You missed an extra point. You had another one blocked. Luckily, this game didn't come down to you, but
yeah,
another shaky kicker. I just he got my zero because of that, and I couldn't think of anybody else that I would even remotely come close to saying zero. So
that's fine. I think I like this. Only one of us having a zero on losses. So I'm
or
okay
on wins.
Maybe we should institute that. Or on wins, yeah.
Yeah.
We should institute that. All right, heroes. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to Sam Darnold. I really like how he's looked the first 2 games of the season. He has not shown that just throwing it into triple coverage, seeing ghosts type of stuff that we saw from him in New York. I think he's been poised. He's been standing in the pocket, strong, with some shaky offensive line play. Let's be honest. He's very accurate. He's got a rifle, man. Like he throws the ball hard and accurately. It's really nice to see. But he's making the right decisions, for the most part. He had a couple of throws that he probably would have liked back, but he's just looked really good, and he deserves the hero in this game, so I'm giving it to him.
And I think I'm hoping that with some more good games, getting consistent, I'm hoping it builds his confidence where he starts, takes himself to the next level. And that's what we're hoping for Sam Darnold. So my hero, Phil Snow. I'm giving it to Phil Snow. Like, this defense was just so prepared to play. They've dominated the whole game. And so many players stood out on defense that I felt like I couldn't name just one. So I'm going to give it to the head guy.
Yeah.
And not only that, in fourth quarter, when even though the game was pretty much out of reach, they kept coming after him. They showed aggressiveness. And that's what I liked. I was worried we were going to give up another garbage touchdown. And I was like, no. Mm-hmm. But no, we kept coming after. Winston threw another interception. It was just great. So Phil Snow, way to turn around this defense from last year.
Absolutely, man. Phil Snow, maybe my favorite coach on the team right now. I will say, I did like at the end of the first half when the Panthers got the ball back with, around 30 seconds left. They didn't just kneel it out.
No.
They tried to get into field goal range. They had no timeouts to do it, which is another, that's a whole other conversation. We wish they'd be a little more judicious with their timeouts, especially in the first half there. They were only one timeout left, like 4 minutes left in the first quarter or something.
Yeah, one of those timeouts was on a 4th down where they went to punt, but instead they just lackadaisical, we'll just call a timeout. It's like, you may need that, and they could have used it.
There was another one, I think, like on a change of possession or something, where they had the ball, and I don't know, it was weird, but it would have been nice if they'd had some timeouts. They probably could have gotten a field goal range because they did, a nice job moving down the field. But I liked that. I liked seeing them go aggressive for that, which is a little anti-rule from what we've seen because he kind of punts the ball when you think he should either go for it or maybe try a field goal. But there, he just went for it. So I like to see it. It didn't really work out for him, but I like to see that. So kudos to Matt Rule. I thought pretty good game plan in this game.
I did too. Like you said, the only negative I have with the game plan whatsoever was the simple fact that, time management, and they really keyed in on Christian McCaffrey run game. Thought maybe they should do a little bit more play action on first down because they were ready.
Yeah, that's another thing that we should mention. Like, they're going to have to figure out some more offensive players here. Just leaning on McCaffrey for 30 plays a game is not going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're leaning on DJ Moore too, but they really do need to find somebody else in that backfield that is able to get more than 1 yard per carry.
And I don't mind them. I don't mind DJ Moore being, the focus of the passing game. because he's still only going to get 8 to 10 touches a game. But McCaffrey just like he's getting 3 times that.
Yeah,
and
I
he's
agree.
Gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt. That running backs get hurt when they use them that much.
Yeah.
So right now he's on pace for 600 carries or something. 600 touches, like just a ridiculous amount. I mean, I'm not even joking. It is over 500. So I'm hoping that they can find some other players to spread that ball around to.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see Thursday night because the Panthers have a short week.
Yeah, I will not be here for the pre-game preview, but I will be here for the game review because I'm going to watch the game, and I'll bring my stuff to the beach and I'll see the sunset behind me or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a sunset at 12 o'clock at night, Jerry.
True.
Because this game, and we'll have to talk about our scheduling for that. But I will at least be here probably Wednesday morning with the preview. I may see if I can find someone to join me for that. But we will have a preview. It will come, and we will have a recap. So,
yep.
Hopefully we're recapping a Panthers win.
Yep. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. Please leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. If you're watching on YouTube, unless you're an Aints fan, please like and subscribe.
Hey, even if you are an Aints fan, you can like and subscribe. We'll take it. We'll take it. Like I said, we'll be back soon. And until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.